I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, consideration of routine items. It is recommended that the agenda of the June 10th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of School Trustees be approved as presented. May I get a motion?
I'll move to approve the June 10th regular board meeting.
Okay, motion by Tyler. May I get a second by Matt? Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is, it is recommended that the minutes of the May 13th, 2024 regular board meeting be approved as presented. May I get a motion?
Almost.
Motion by George.
I'll second.
Second by Janet. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Statements from the public. There's nobody signed up for that, so we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Schneider.
Thank you. This evening I have Amy Chapman, Jamie Denham, and Connie McDaniel here, and they're going to speak about our Science of Reading initiative as members of Indiana's Literacy Cadre Part 2. So, ladies, the podium is yours.
Good evening. I'm Connie McDaniel, and I'm what's called a training support specialist. So I'm working through the Indiana Literacy Cadre, which is a Department of Ed initiative for science of reading to ensure K, 1, 2, and 3rd grade students are learning to read proficiently. So with that work, this is my second year as a TSS, that's our little short for training support specialist. So there are 20 of us this past year across the state. So this is a statewide initiative, and we are all hired out of our local service centers. So I do work out of the Southern Indiana Education Center in Jasper. And so when the department put out this initiative through CEL, that's why you see CEL on all these things from University of Indianapolis, it was decided that the local service centers knew the schools, knew their member schools. And so working through them and hiring people in my position through the service centers so that we can partner and support our schools. So that's the structure of that. So really what I am is I'm a coach for the instructional coaches. So Jamie and Amy are the instructional coaches here at Luce and Rockport, yes. And so their salaries are funded partially through the cadre. It's a 2-year work because it just takes time, right? It takes time to get into classrooms, see what our current practices are, look at what the research says, and where can we start making some shifts to better approach our students to ensure the small red on the bottom, the mission of the whole Indiana Literacy Cadre is to ensure that 95% of Hoosier 3rd graders can read proficiently, and that goal is by 2027. And you'll see that your schools are already doing remarkably well. So my role is I meet weekly through Zoom with the coaches. So we just look at the coaching that they're doing. We talk through some student data. I kind of help them make decisions for their local school. So really, I'm really a thought partner in this. And then once a month, I come down here to Rockport and spend alternate mornings and afternoons at Luce and Rockport because I need to get in classrooms. I need to see kids. I need to see what kids are doing. And so we're also using a coaching model that's a Diane Sweeney student-centered coaching model. So the whole focus is on students. So the coaching is not intended to be directed at teachers and to fix teachers. It's let's look at students and let's look at student data, and we're making all of our decisions based on that student information and how that aligns with the science of reading. And so we just continue to look at that and evaluate and make decisions. We use our professional development time, either just us or as they're constructing professional development for their buildings. And then the same thing goes in the building, so then I'm partnering with the principals and the coaches. We're looking at those structures, we're looking at your 90-minute reading block, we're seeing what that looks like, where maybe we could, again, make some small changes to make sure that students are really getting the most out of the minutes that they're in their reading time. And so when I'm there, I'm in classrooms, and I'll stress it as an observation. It's never a teacher evaluation, it's not evaluative. Especially those first couple of months, I bring in no paper pencil. I wanna make sure it is really just, I'm there to see what kids are doing. Okay, next slide.
I wanted to share some implementations and results from Luce this year. The cadre work has been very beneficial. We've really focused on K and 1 at Luce, with second and third grades are gonna be next year more of a focus, but K1 has been our primary focus this year. And some of the new programs that we have implemented, and the state has purchased the majority of these. We have implemented Haggerty, which is a phonemic awareness program, so that is getting kiddos, used to letters and sounds and how words work and all of that. And kindergarten and first grade have implemented that with Fidelity this year, and we've already seen a lot of growth with our kiddos. So I know Mrs. DeFers is super excited to see what next year will bring when we have, we've already got our feet wet, we know what we're doing, and so putting that in place next year in August instead of January, and to see the results is exciting. And the state also purchased a phonics program called UFly that we use in conjunction with our current phonics program. And what this has done is allowed us to group our students based on need. And so that flexible grouping, which is the next part, our classrooms look a little bit different this year. Used to, language arts block, you would see a lot of center work and, rotations every 15 minutes and going off the science of reading. We've changed to more of a flexible grouping and giving kids what they need when they need it for as long as they need it. So, if we have a group of 5 kiddos that need 10 minutes of work on something, they get it, or another group may need 20. So it's really looking at student need and basing what we're doing in the classroom on what the kiddos need. And then our iRead results at Luce this year, our third grade, we just had a few that had to take it in third grade this year, but right now we have a 96% pass rate in third grade. We only had 1 kiddo that didn't pass. And then our second grade pass rate is 71%, so they can take it in second grade, and then if they don't pass it in second grade, they can take it again in third grade. So 71% passed, and then 33% of our special needs kiddos passed in second grade. So we're off and running to a great start. We've made a lot of changes. We've implemented a lot of new things. Those teachers were totally on board with all of the new research and ready to jump in with both feet, so that it's been a very positive year, a year full of change, and it's been very positive.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman.
Rockport had the same opportunities that Luce did. They bought Haggerty for us, they did UFly for us as well. Our K-1-2 team implemented everything with Fidelity. Third grade was added to the cadre at Christmas. And when you look at our results for third grade, I wanna give some backstory before you see it. We had a third grade group where 50% of them looked like they were not going to pass. And so we were gonna have a pass rate around 77%. We implemented some of the new strategies, and if you look at that, that's the impact of the science of reading in 1 semester. We're at a 96% pass rate. And that special needs passed, 75%. The goal for the entire state for SPED is 65%. And we made it in 1 semester.
That's awesome.
So it's really gonna be impactful, like Amy said, what is it gonna look like 3 years for those kiddos. I suspect we'll see 100%. Our second grade, 46% passed the first time, 11% were special needs.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
When you show those numbers of percentages, how did those percentages look compared to previous years? What type of percentage of improvement is a question that I'd like to ask. And then, when you said that you kind of had a way to barometer what it was gonna look like before the semester started versus the end,
Okay.
what's that measurement look like?
okay, so when you look at your middle of the year data, we pull that from NWA, we pull that from some other informal assessments. And based on those assessments, it gives us a prediction as to how they would perform on iRead. And so we had a real concern at the middle of the year. And so we put third grade through some cycles, tweaked just some instructional practices, and that's what came out of it. They jumped up that much, that quickly.
And then what did that look like in the year previous before you had the program?
We've always been real fortunate. We've stayed right about a 90% pass rate. When iRead first started 15 years ago, we had a 100% pass rate. And that was Gen Ed. SPED, we didn't have to necessarily calculate and hold them accountable because they have a good cause exemption. Because we know there's a specific learning disability, and so they were excused. They didn't have to be held accountable for that assessment, but they're passing, and that's the good thing.
And the 95% goal includes all students, right? Research shows maybe 5% of the population, because of some cognitive disabilities, wouldn't be able to pass iRead, but research shows 95% can. So we're including special ed in all of our numbers now.
And so as our special ed team becomes more familiar with the different interventions and things that are more science and research based, those students that have the SLD in reading, they have a really, really good chance of becoming on level. And that's something we've not ever seen before.
That builds their confidence. when
Yes,
you do that.
their confidence, their self-esteem, they have more hope that they can actually have a future, go to college, go to a trade school, and it's all because they learn to read.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Denham.
So the one thing that I didn't mention earlier, a big part of the cadre is the professional development of the coaches and people in my position. So Amy and Jamie did participate in a week-long training last summer in Indianapolis. And then we do a 90-minute Zoom every other week, twice a month. There is a 90-minute Zoom with all of the instructional coaches and all of the TSSs, and the department and cell bring in national researchers to deliver that professional development, that ongoing learning. And then that information can be brought back to classroom teachers to support. That's why we're making some of these changes. It's based on this research and this information. So that's ongoing professional learning. They will not attend the summer, that's just for the first year coaches, but that ongoing twice a month, it does continue. And so we're working on a pathway B that would be a little bit more intense, a little bit more in-depth for the coaches for this next year. So our next steps are just to continue to let data drive our decision-making. When I say structures, I really mean those reading block structures, like Amy talked about, those skill-based small groups, kind of reimagining that 90-minute reading block so it's not just everybody gets the same center for 15 minutes, kids get what they need. So that's part of that structure. Grade 3 last year was optional, and so that's why Jamie said about mid-year we started to spend a little bit more time with our third grade teachers and our third grade students, but third grade will be included next year, so that will definitely be part of our push next year. Instructional coaching, we're just really seeing the impact statewide of instructional coaching. And because this is my second year, so I have some first-year schools that are completing the cadre now, and they've had such positive effects on the teachers and the students that those school districts are now funding those instructional coach positions separately. So that's really exciting. So that's when I say sustainability. So that's when the cadre is done and the support of the funding is done. You know, what can you all do to continue that support so teachers have that partnership? They're not just in their classrooms alone, because when things get hard, we go back to what's comfortable and familiar, right? So we want to make sure they continue to have those supports so they can continue to really do best practices for kids. And again, this professional development is ongoing. And I want to thank you so much for joining the cadre, for allowing me to come into your buildings once a month, for the time that I've worked with Amy and Jamie, and then also with Mr. Hunt and Miss Adams. It really has been a joy, so I'm very appreciative. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Can I just ask, like the second graders, are they tested on the second grade level and the third on the third, or how does that work?
It's one test. Our second graders take a test designed for a third grader.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
wondering.
it is the third grade IRE test, and the goal is about half maybe pass, and so then, you know, we know that we're good with those kids, we just continue our core instruction. But then it gives us a little bit more information
Sure.
about what these other kids might need to finish second grade, and then we share that with the third grade teachers, so they start right away knowing where areas of need and areas of strength might be for those students. So yeah, that's a good
That's
question.
based on how they perform on that assessment. We'll design interventions and extra activities and things working in small groups to ensure that they do pass as a third grader.
Great. Thank you.
And hats off, to Jamie and Amy, Mr. Hunt and Miss Adams chose well. And hats off to them for their coaching, and hats off to the teachers that
Yes.
welcomed this and
Yes.
took it, because this is just the first year, so we still have another year. And I think the benefits we're gonna see are really gonna bloom next year and the following year. Because again, the correlation between reading and being successful in school is very, very strong. So good readers become good learners, and we're super excited to be part of the cadre, excited about the first year results, and looking forward to year two
Great.
and beyond.
And beyond, that's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman.
Thank you.
Ms. Dunham.
Anything more?
I think that covers it.
Is that it? Okay. All right, next item is consent items. The first one is approved payroll claim dockets and the accounts payable claims as presented in the board packet, pages 12 through 41. Accept the retirement of the following, approved to post the position and grant permission to hire. A, Vicky Moniger, Rockport Elementary Teaching Assistant, effective May 17th, 2024. Bob Forston, Bus Driver, effective May 17th, 2024. Ms. Sherry Adams, Luce Elementary Principal, effective at the end of the 2023-2024 contract. Ms. Jackie Dahm, South Spencer High School Business Teacher, effective June 30th, 2024. Then accept the resignations of the following, approved to post the positions and grant permission to hire. Brooke Springer, JV volleyball coach, effective May 28th. Abe Bartlett, boys golf coach, effective May 16th, 2024. Abe Bartlett, boys JV boys basketball coach, effective May 16th, 2024. Ian Hebner, assistant boys basketball coach, effective May 28th, 2024. Josh Rorschreib, 9-month custodial position at high school, effective May 23rd, 2024. Misty Roth, concession coordinator, effective May 31st, 2024. Missy Roth, athletic supervisor, effective May 31st, 2024. Cody Eves, middle school football helper. Cody Eves, middle school track coach. Nathan Tucker, middle school archery coach, and Lalina Medal, South Spencer High School Key Club advisor. May I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by George. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tyler. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. The next is consideration of administrative recommendations. Mr. Schneider?
Thank you. The board has been provided copies of 20 proposed policy revisions deemed necessary to comply with changes in state and federal laws. Policies are 1216, 2221, 2260, 2370.02, 2600, 3216, 4216, 5111, 5340.01, 5460, 5511, 5530.01, 5722, 6110, 6114, 6325, 8330, 8450.01, 8500, and 9150. These policies have been posted on our website for those that would like to view them as update number 4. This is the second reading of said policy revisions, and I recommend the board approve said revisions as presented.
Okay, may I get a motion?
No motion.
Motion by Tyler. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Janet. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Snyder?
Thank you. The board has been provided a copy of revisions to 20 policies that are deemed necessary to comply with changes in state and federal laws. The 20 policies are 0131.1, 1521, 2431, 2432, 2435, 2464, 3120.02, 3120.11, 3121, 3220.02, 4121, 5420, 5610, 8120, 8121, 8210, 8220, 8400, 8510, and 8600. These 20 revised policies are posted on our website under update number 5 for those that would like to view them. This is the first reading of said policy revisions, so there is no action to be taken tonight. We shall hold the second reading at our July board meeting, at which time the board may consider approval.
Okay, number 3, Mr. Snyder?
Thank you. In your board packet, you'll find a job description and proposal to add a position of lead behavior technologist for Luce Elementary for the 2024-2025 school year. This position is recommended by the Special Education Co-op and will assist with the behaviors in the special education classroom at Luce. The proposed position is full-time. The pay rate is $17.50 per hour with all benefits afforded by the Classified Employee Handbook. I recommend the board approve adding the position as presented.
May I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Janet. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tyler. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Number 4, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you. In your board packet, Mr. Rick Hunt, principal at Rockport Elementary, has provided you a proposed update to the 2024-2025 pre-kindergarten handbook. I recommend the board approve the 2024-2025 pre-kindergarten handbook as presented.
May I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by George. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Janet. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Number 5, Mr. Snyder.
In your board packet, Mr. Dean Shipp has provided you a proposed calendar for the 2025 school budget. I recommend the board approve the 2025 school budget calendar as presented.
Okay, may I get a motion?
No motion.
Motion by Tyler,
I'll second Tyler's motion.
second by Matt. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Number 6, Mr. Schneider.
In your board packet, Mr. Dean Ship has provided you a list of technology equipment that is obsolete and/or surplus equipment. I recommend the board declare the items as obsolete and/or surplus and approve the administration to recycle said equipment as presented.
May I get a motion?
I so move to accept the obsolete equipment.
Motion,
For a second.
sorry, Matt, didn't mean to cut you off. Motion by Matt. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by George. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Number 7, Mr. Schneider.
Thank you. In your board packets, you'll find a request from boys varsity basketball coach, Mr. Aaron Thompson, to take the varsity and junior varsity basketball teams to Bloomington, Indiana for a basketball shootout on June 24th and June 25th of 2024. I recommend the board approve his request as presented.
May I get a motion?
I'll
Okay.
second.
That was motion by Janet.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And second by George. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Consideration of personnel recommendations. Number 1. Okay, here we go. Got a big list. Up you go.
Let me ask first, is there anyone on this list you would like to remove from the list and take individually, or are you okay with the list as presented?
I'm good with as presented.
Okay?
Good, good.
All right. Hearing none. Here we go. Mallory Temple, 7th grade English Language Arts teacher, South Spencer Middle School, effective with the 2024-2025 school year. Erica Daniels, teacher at Rockport Elementary School, that also is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Kristen Anderson, Title I teacher at St. Bernard, effective with the 2024-2025 school year. Russell Jones, skilled maintenance assistant, South Spencer County School Corporation, that is effective July 17th, 2024. Aaron Adams, custodian, Luce Elementary, moving from a 10-month custodial contract to a 12-month custodial contract. That will be effective May 20th, 2024. Evan Lair, ECA position, woodwind and visual assistant. That is effective June 11th, 2024. Kiefer Burks, ECA position, percussion assistant. That is effective June 11th, 2024. Mason Gross, ECA position of brass and visual assistant. That is effective June 11th, 2024. Becky Harpenall, ECA position of color guard assistant. That is effective June 11th, 2024. Shelby Harpenall, ECA position of color guard assistant. That also is effective June 11th, 2024. Kyle Vincent, ECA position of assistant band director. That is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Ori Calhoun, ECA position assistant boys varsity soccer. That is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Randy Neighbors, ECA position of head girls golf coach. That is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Katie Calhoun, ECA position of head girls soccer coach. That also is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Travis Bush, the ECA position of head cross country coach. That is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Sarah Bush, ECA position of middle school cross country coach. That also is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Jeff Daming, ECA position of head varsity football coach. That is effective for the 2024-2025 school year. And Renee Edge, ECA position of 8th grade volleyball coach. That is effective for the 2024-2025 school year.
Okay, may I get a motion?
I will move to approve all of these hires.
Okay, may I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Janet. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion carries 5-0. Next is the informational items. These were written reports to the board. The first one was the maintenance report, pages 102 to 107. Technology report, pages 108 to 109. Transportation report, pages 110. And then next is statements and concerns of the board. Do we have any statements or concerns from the board?
I have two. About 12 months ago, we were in this room and we talked about the number of bus drivers for the activities bus and that we only had like two folks that were capable of driving with the air brake certification. And we talked about making some improvements and didn't know where we were on that, or if we could encourage the corporation to take this summer opportunity to get some folks that can get that certification that will allow us to use that bus on a more regular basis. Its advertisement is just sitting over there collecting dust. The other one is, you know, we looked through this list and we've got some awesome folks that are retiring. I made a list here of Mrs. Moniker, Mrs. Adams, Mrs. Dom, Mr. Fortune, Dudley Mitchell, and Jim Bush last month. And we've historically always celebrated those retirements with some type of a reception, giving them a corporation gift, giving them their all sports lifetime pass and things of that nature. And I think we've done a disservice over the last 2 months by not doing that within this corporation. I know that, you know, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, we were just 200 yards down in the commons area, and I know, Janet, your husband was one of those that collected those awards, and we failed to do that. And shame on us for